Wednesday, November 20th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you, and let's look back at those Tuesday high temperatures. It was a fairly cool day. 50s up the I-85 corridor, 57 in Charlotte, 54 yesterday in Greensboro. Raleigh hit 56, but a little warmer closer to the coast, 61 in Fayetteville, 62 in Wilmington. Charleston had 64 for a high yesterday. Currently, it's pretty chilly. These are 5:30 a.m. temperatures, a lot of 30s, some 40s on the board, 20s in many mountain spots, so pretty cold. Wednesday morning unfolding. We've had a little veil of some cirrus clouds overhead through the night. Those are departing. I think overall a pretty decent amount of sun in many spots today. Rain with our next cold front all the way back at the Plain States, so that's still a ways back there. And that cold front arrives Saturday morning. More on that coming up in just a second. Northeasterly winds are going to be prevalent across the region today. That's going to continue to funnel in some pretty chilly air from the northeastern parts of the country. Those northerly and northeasterly winds remain in place tomorrow. A bit of a cold air damming configuration with that high pressure over the northeast building down into the region. And that same basic setup holds as we get on into tomorrow as well. Now, some clouds will really thicken up tonight and probably some drizzle at times tonight into tomorrow morning as some marine type of air begins to work on in. Now, there's that next cold front. There it is off to the northwest of us. Ahead of it, after another pretty chilly day tomorrow, we will see some milder temperatures Friday. Should be up into the 60s for many spots across the region before another big shot of cold air then arrives. Now, here's the setup over the weekend. We see this next cold front moving our way. Now, it'll breeze through Saturday morning. You notice very little in the way of any significant precipitation with it. The big story will again be this big blast of Arctic air arriving behind that front. As we get on into Sunday and Monday, you will feel it for sure. Rain totals, very unimpressive, as I've been mentioning with this system. It looks like a few showers briefly, mainly Saturday morning, but that'll be it. A lot of us will probably miss out on that. But there's the cold air flooding in behind it. It'll be cold by Sunday morning, cold all day Sunday, and then even colder by Monday morning out there across the region. I'll show you some more modeling on that here in just a second. There's a look from the Cataloochee ski area this morning. Temperatures in the 20s. The snow guns are fired up. You have Cataloochee and Sugar Mountain remaining open. Beach Mountain will open soon. Appalachian planning to open coming up this Friday. And we're looking at Sapphire Valley going to open as soon as they can. Same story with Wolf Ridge. And again, Sugar Mountain does remain open. All right, so sort of an interesting setup as we move forward in time. This is the upper air pattern off of the European model for Friday morning. And you notice already as the next trough is diving in, it has deposited a piece of energy behind that will eventually move eastward and out in our direction. So you go out to Sunday morning, there's that big trough with all the cold air diving into the eastern parts of the country. Still have that piece of energy left behind all the way out at 156 hours. That's Tuesday morning. Finally, you get that southwestern energy ejecting to the east at the same time. Another piece of energy kind of diving down the northern plain states. And so by 180 hours, that's what you end up with on the 0Z European. That's 12Z on Wednesday morning, basically around daybreak Wednesday. So at the surface, this is what it looks like on the European model. Cold front moves through Saturday morning. Very chilly air mass building in for Sunday and Monday behind it. That high pressure winds up right overhead basically by Sunday night, giving us some low 20s and maybe upper teens for lows by Monday morning. All right, now here's the deal for next week. As that piece of energy emerges, the basic idea that should occur is you get an area of low pressure form along the northern Gulf. That's Tuesday morning on the European model, and then that rain really spreads in. That's a chilly, cold air damming rain scenario Tuesday across much of our region. And then that low moves through the Carolinas and transitions to the coast by Wednesday morning, the big travel day next week. Again, that's the European scenario. Some similarities with the GFS, timing a little bit slower on the GFS. This is Tuesday morning, low pressure beginning to organize near the Louisiana coast. 12 hours later, the rain has arrived into much of the Carolinas. Again, it's a chilly, cold air damming rain, but it is rain. And then you go out 12 more hours. There's the low centered near the northern Outer Banks. And let's go 12 hours later. There you go. And this winds up on the GFS model being some snow in parts of the mountains. On the European model, again, it's a little bit of a more inland track, slightly on the European, but that's going to be very changeable. It's just all depending on, let me go back to this chart here, how these individual pieces of energy interact. If you do get some degree of phasing, that low cuts up further to the west. If they stay more separated, the low stays more to the south. We'll see if this ends up being a mountain snow scenario or a snow for the mid-Atlantic states further to the north of the Carolinas. We'll see. A lot of moving pieces there that we still have to kind of iron out. But it's kind of an interesting setup to watch as we get into the big travel portion of next week, just before Thanksgiving. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.